Oh geez, what day is it? Tuesday. Welcome to another daily live stream. Oh, I realized I didn't turn my light on there. I'm a little darker today, the screen. So I'm just gonna check the sound though to make sure we're good. And yeah, we're good. Today we are going to share some updates with BGE's Tabletop. Excited to share some things. We have a major big update coming soon. I think I'm gonna maybe wait one more day to share that update. Really excited to share that update. Kind of shared it with some people, but we haven't talked about it publicly yet. So we'll be sharing that in just a day or two on one of our streams. Well, on our daily stream and in our email newsletter. I'm just checking to make sure we're all good here too. Make sure we're not having any issues with the stream. It looks all good. All right. So today we are doing some updates for Game with Education, or BGE's Tabletop. We changed our brand, I guess, on social media to BGE's Tabletop. We're still Board Game with Education, the podcast. You can still check out our podcast, Board Game with Education. We're still focused on games for learning. We're still focused on the positive aspects of gaming and learning, specifically tabletop games. So today we are just going to go over some things that we're doing with BGE's Tabletop. So we're just sharing some updates. I'm going to go over to the newsletter here, and that's kind of what I like to do to share the updates, because this is a good outline for me, because there's a lot always going on, and I actually use this newsletter as a way to kind of remind myself and stay organized with things as well. But we want to make sure it's streamlined as well for anyone that's a part of our community. So I do recommend signing up for the newsletter. That's the best way to stay up to date and not miss anything. It has everything you would like to know about what we're doing is on our newsletter, or in our newsletter. Because we're on TikTok, we're on Instagram, we're on YouTube, we're on Twitch, we're on Facebook. You'll see a lot of the same content across all the platforms, but it's a little bit different on each one. And we also want to be on all of those because some people don't use Facebook. Some people don't use TikTok. So we want to be sure we're kind of spreading ourselves out across the social media and with our community. And that's one thing. It's in the newsletter too. I'm curious, if you're watching the replay, leave a comment. Want to hear what you think. I'll probably get some responses, hopefully, from our newsletter. You can always reply to our newsletter. I love hearing back from people when they do reply to the newsletter. Sometimes I just ask in the newsletter, well, let's go over to it. Let's go. So this week, I just asked, what is your favorite game currently that you have been playing? And for me, I've been really enjoying, there's a typo, DMing tabletop RPGs. So, as an example, we played Dungeons and Dragons with some friends, and we did our session 1 2 weeks ago, and we did session 0 first. So I've never DM'd before, and I've never played Dungeons and Dragons before. So it's a lot of learning for me, but I'm really enjoying it. Definitely messed up some rules. I was learning a little bit more about how spell casting works in D&D, and definitely got some things wrong, which is too bad, but I'm excited to kind of share that with our group. I think the spellcaster will find out that they were doing some things that maybe they shouldn't have been allowed to, but that's kind of the beauty of tabletop games is you can kind of, or tabletop role-playing games, you can kind of go with the flow as the DM. So that's what I've really been enjoying. And then I'm starting to prepare a one-shot of Mothership, which is kind of a sci-fi horror tabletop role-playing game. And that is something we're doing for Halloween. So I'm excited to dig into that. So as I said, I love when people reply to the email. I can kind of learn a little bit more about what you're playing as a community, as BGE's Tabletop community members, or other customers that have bought through our store. I'd love to hear what games you're playing, and if I've missed any games too. Like, we signed up for a program with Gamma, which has been really awesome because we're learning about different board games from different publishers. For example, this is actually a really cool story, and maybe I'll share this really quick before we go back to the newsletter. Devere, I think that's might be how you pronounce it. So this is a cool game that we're gonna play today. Castle Party. It's like a Halloween kind of themed game. And then they also sent Silk. So these are demo games that we're gonna try out, and this one's kind of really fits in with what we do. BGE's Tabletop 2, and it's kind of geared towards younger players, so I'm excited to check that one out. Always looking for recommendations of games for younger players. But it's been cool because these publishers have sent us some games so we can learn a little bit more about them and be able to kind of explore other games. So that's why I really like to hear from our community as well, what games you've been playing, because there's probably some games we've missed that are worth carrying at BGE's Tabletop. So let's just go over kind of some updates. So every newsletter comes with our calendar. We also post it on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. I have not posted it on Instagram yet, but it's on Facebook, it's on Twitter. It's this week, the rest of this week. So every Tuesday the newsletter comes out. You can check out the calendar for the rest of this week, and then I'll scroll down a little bit more. We'll see the next week, but this is just at the very top of the newsletter, the week ahead. So we stream every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, every day, but Thursday throughout the week. Saturday and Sunday we don't stream because sometimes we're doing local events in the community. This weekend we're actually free, which is nice. we tend to have like 3 weeks in a row where we do something and a week off. So this is kind of, I guess, falls in our week off. Friday we like to do a game. So we do a stream and we do a game. So if you are interested in joining us for a game on a Friday, send me a message. You can comment below. You can send me an email. You can leave a comment on whatever you're watching this on. If you're watching the replay too, feel free to leave a comment. I'll definitely be able to come check back on the video. This is just an outline. Oh no, I forgot to add. There's one other thing in this outline that I didn't add up here about Pokemon, but I mentioned it at the top. So this is what I want to ask as far as if you're watching the stream, or hopefully I'll hear back from some in the newsletters if we should start a Discord. I love the platform and its potential. It's so hard to spread my time across all the different platforms, and that's just one more. And it's also, to get it going, to get a strong Discord channel, engaging community on Discord, you really have to be active in the channel. I know there's a lot of like bots you can set up to do things for you in the channel, so that's nice, but you definitely need a community there. And so that's, I guess, my call to our community and see if it's worth doing. Maybe it's not worth doing right now. Maybe we don't have a strong support or desire to get it going. So if that's the case, maybe we'll just wait a little bit longer and see if it ever does become something. We're always looking for guests. That's the next update here. If you want to come on our stream Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, or Friday, let me know. We don't really have a set time yet. After our major update tomorrow, we will have a set time, and we won't be doing it. We won't be doing it every day. So that might give a hint as to what our update is going to be coming up. These are just other ways to get involved. We've included this in the newsletter for the last 6 weeks now. Looking for resource contributors. So if you want to put together resources for any of our games that we carry, or even games that we don't carry and you think we should carry them and they should be resources we develop for games for learning, reach out to us. This is part of Board Game with Education, where we started with using games for learning, games in the classroom. Let us know. It is paid, so it's not something that we're asking you to do for free, but it's not like the best job in the world as far as compensation goes. But we do want to compensate our contributors in some way. We definitely want to help you out as far as like finding games too. So if you are interested and you really think you'll make some resources for a game, we're happy to kind of help you get that game and look into it. So, but send me a message if you're interested. Actually, there is a way to kind of apply for that. If you click on this link, we can just go look at it really quick. So it's just information here. Basically, the application is to send me an email. That's really all you need to do. Send me an email with some information, and that's outlined there. If you want to get $5 store credit, you can fill out the survey. It's just a survey about our website. We're actually transitioning our website or our store. So we're still going to have boardgamewitheducation.com, but we're going to use that as the blog moving forward. And then our store will be separate as BGE Tabletop.com. Really, you're probably not going to notice anything. Like, the user experience will hopefully be better using the store. And as far as going to boardgamewitheducation.com, you won't notice anything different. The links will just send you over to the store. But it really helps us if you let us know what works with our website now. So as we do that transition, we'll know what to pay attention to. Facebook group, that's been going strong for a while. I've been struggling with how Facebook has changed. I mentioned this before. I've been struggling with how Facebook has changed their updates to groups, and I think there are some ways to really use the updates well. I just haven't figured it out yet. So you can check it out. We've had some really great posts, engaging posts recently. This was really cool to see Michael come up with his question, because he has a game that he is trying to figure out how to get it to people interested in using it for learning, and he has a survey to go along with that, and some other another question too from him. But yeah, definitely check out the group. We're getting close to 4,000 members, which is crazy. We have 3.6 now. The latest content. So I'm releasing a vlog, I guess, a vlog video series on behind the scenes from a business standpoint. So if this is something you're interested in, I'm doing this for a couple different reasons. I think when I started online business, I started with a tutoring website, specifically for using, helping prepare students for an English certification exam for specifically the speaking section. So very, very niched business, business. So it was working well. I think I could have continued with it. I was profitable at a certain point. I think I was getting to a point where I was like breaking even and about to be profitable, but I stopped because I wasn't super passionate about it. I did love the online business aspect of it, but there were other components that I wasn't super passionate about. I loved working with students, but I loved a classroom. I loved being in person, and which is crazy that this whole past pandemic we've had to go to remote learning, something that I've had to adjust to. But I learned a lot from other entrepreneurs out there. Pat Flynn's one of them, a big one, and they share a lot of tips and insights and ideas, and it's really valuable, like the amount of information out there and how much that's helped me in my business and still continues to help me in my business. I like to learn from these entrepreneurs. So I'm doing that for that sake, to also share my experience, because if anyone is in my shoes and they're looking to open a store, I want to share what's working for me. I want to share what I've learned. I want to share some insights, some updates. Also, on a selfish end, it helps me understand my process for doing things and helps me reevaluate how I'm doing things, what I'm doing. So it really forces me to take that time to look through my business process and my business approaches. So I've recorded 4 videos already about hosting booths at events locally. And I share my insights into this, and I share my successes, my challenges. I also share like actual sales data for these events too, and how that looks and what that looks like going from our online store to these events to our announcement for tomorrow, and then to a brick-and-mortar store. And eventually, after these 4 videos about just booths and running booths at events like local pop-ups, I'll kind of share a broader approach to this timeline and where we're at. So we'll do business videos, and this will be something we share as a part of opening the brick and mortar too. So I'm excited to keep going with these. So let me know what you think about them. I'd love to hear any comments. If you click on the video, actually here, we'll do this because, all right, so we're going to look at our first pop. If anyone's watching the replay, you can definitely check out the video in the comments. I left it in the comments there. All right. So here's the following week. I mentioned we have the first week, which I talked about. This is the next week. I'm going to skip that for now because that's too far in the future. You can check it out on Facebook or comment on the post. Board game crates. So talked about this a few times. So the survey's there, and it's pretty decent. We want to iterate on the survey and make it a little bit better. So if you just want to take the survey and you're maybe not interested in the board game crates, and let us know what you think, that would be awesome. But also, these are like curated board game crates for teachers, for homeschool parents, for parents, or just for family and friends. So we work with you to try to figure out what kind of games work well for your group or your learning environment. So, I'm going to Instagram, and I want to share with you, Laura, Total Time Savers. So this was I love this video. She shared, I don't know if you can hear that. I'm going to just play a little bit of it.
Here's a tabletop game that's great for social distancing. Do you remember that board game crate I got from Board Gaming with Education?
Let's see if this
here's a game that came with that big box of games. It's called Rhino Hero, and they gave us 4 games so I could play with my largest class. So what I did was took everything out of each of the boxes, and I bundled them.
So I'll just stop it there. You'll have to go to her Instagram account. She's also on TikTok. Same video if you want to see how she used it in her classroom. So this was one of the games we worked together and got as a part of her board game crate. I thought it was super cool where she gave, and this is a perfect game for it too. She gave them the components and asked them to create their own game, which is really cool. I think this is a perfect game to kind of use a game like that for something like this. But you'll have to check out the rest of the video to kind of watch how it turns out and how she used like a debrief activity with the students too. So that's our board game crate. Our Pokemon update. So if you're not into Pokemon, hopefully this isn't too boring to go over, but I'm going to go over it just really quickly. I think it's super interesting if you're not into Pokemon from an economic standpoint and from a business standpoint. As a small business, and I mean even big businesses, you don't always get things right, and you're trying to figure out what works. As a small business and getting going as a tabletop game store, still kind of learning myself. So we're piloting a program for access to very popular products like Pokemon. Pokemon's super popular right now. You have something called Elite Trainer Boxes. If you're not familiar, if you are, you probably know exactly what I'm talking about. But for the new set, Elite Trainer Boxes for celebrations, so on Amazon, it's going for $90. That is more than twice the price of what it should be, quote unquote, should be going for. So we call that the market price. That's what the market is willing to pay for it. So that, I'm pretty sure that should be a pre-order too, because I think this comes out on Friday. So the MSRP, which is the suggested price that retailers should sell it at, is $39.99. So that's the suggested price, where the market price, the price that people are paying for pre-orders, is like $80, $90. Maybe you can find some places for like $60 or $70. So what we want to do is give our members, so people who are part of our BGE's tabletop community, access to those members' prices. The challenge on our end is we don't get a lot of Pokemon product because we are a new store, and it's just something that we don't have the relationship with distributors to be able to order large quantities of a product at this moment, especially a popular product. I mean, I'm sure they would give us some less popular products for sure. So we are giving a members only access to Pokemon, popular Pokemon at a member's price. So the member's price will be very close to the suggested retail price. And they'll have access. If you are a member, you'll have access to it for 24 hours. You can still get it at the member price after 24 hours. However, the products will be available to non-members for non-member prices. So I think this is the best way. I've kind of come to figuring out how to handle this as this just starting off with getting product, and also being a new store, and from looking at what other stores are doing and from what other customers are saying about what other stores are doing. So I think this is kind of the best way that I've come up with, and we're going to go with it and see how it works. It went really well for the last release for Evolving Skies. We didn't get a lot of Evolving Skies for the first, the first wave, I guess. We kind of got some other product for Evolving Skies later, but it wasn't really for the first wave. I think maybe it's just delayed. So hopefully that's a bit interesting. Is if you're not interested in Pokemon, maybe it's interesting as an economics thing or a business type of thing. In our newsletter, we always have our new games that we've added to the store, to the site. I mentioned this when we do mail time. We always have these products available to us. Like, I have a box behind me that I'm going to do mail time for tomorrow. If you're interested in it, we can get it to you, even if it's not on the site. When we add it to our inventory, it's available for purchase, just not through our site. So that's going to be something that might change when we kind of transition the website over. We're going to try, if you're familiar with Shopify over WooCommerce, right now we're using WooCommerce, which I really like from a integration and flexibility and from using it with the blog standpoint. But from an e-commerce, if I just want a website for products, from what I understand, Shopify is better for that. But we're going to try that. So that hopefully will make things easier when we get products in. It'll be much easier to add it to the website. So that's our hope. We'll see. But with the newsletter, you'll always see new games that have been added to the site most recently. Our Kickstarter calendar is in our newsletter as well. This is where you can check out games that are being released on Kickstarter that we think are great for games for learning, or have some sort of connection to learning or content. It's loosely connected, and also we have not played these games, so we cannot vouch for them 100%. They're just what we see on the page and see as a potential great game for games for learning. So I think it's worth exploring. There are some really great games on Kickstarter that do come out that I could probably vouch for before playing. I mean, we as a store, we back games and we order games through Kickstarter in hopes, or not in hopes, in the plan to get them and have them available in our store. But that's it. Those are the updates. If you have any questions, you can leave a comment below. You can send us an email, games@boardgamewitheducation.com. I'll type that in the comments as well. We're back. We were gone from last week. We're back to streaming every day. Tomorrow, we're going to do a mail time, and we'll have some maybe other smaller segments. And again, before I go, if you want to come on the stream, if you're interested in sharing what you're working on, sharing your projects, and coming on, maybe just having fun, playing a game, doing a segment, send me a message, let me know. We'll be